Hi, this is Mama Neptune, and I'm going to be doing a reading on the death of Nipsey Hussle. And I wasn't going to do this at first, but I decided that I would do it. Actually, just recently, I just now decided that I would do it. So, let's look at a picture of him really quickly. He was a handsome man, actually. He was a Leo. And I've seen a lot of people's conspiracies go out about him. He's tall and had a nice beard. And he was Eritrean, so he's East African. Eritreans and Ethiopians are the same people. They, genetically, they just culturally different. And black, African American. So his dad was Eritrean, his mom was African American. He's long time engaged to Lauren London, who is a Sagittarius. Really interesting, actually. So I'm going to use my spirit board, and I'm going to just shake up my cap and just see what's happening here. I'm sorry, I'm just praying. All right. Some of y'all actually cannot see my spirit board. Or I can't say y'all can't see it because this is a recording, so some of y'all will never see this. But those of you who have never seen my spirit board up close and personal, you'll not understand why I'm seeing what I saw. Okay, so something that I'm seeing here, this is interesting because the ancestors, the angels, actually fell off of the board, which tells me that the spiritual protection that he had was not there at the time. So he was vulnerable. Okay. I also see something really interesting here, because the elephant, which is Obatala, also wisdom, that is over the gun. Okay, so this is interesting because I see it as the gun obviously is going to represent violence, is going to represent some sort of protection. I see gun being carried as protection. But the elephant blocks pretty much anything it covers, right? So again, this is a lack of protection, meaning his guard was down. The elephant is a gentle creature, meaning that he may know, known personally who the person was who did the shooting. It also tells me, in addition to that, it just feels like it feels like maybe he was slow to move in the sense, meaning like he may have even had a firearm on him, or had a safe or some space, but he was slow to move in a sense, like either caught off guard or wasn't really prepared. I also saw, interesting, because there's something stuck to my elephant. It was like a piece of paper. And that actually was covering over a penis. So it was a male who shot him. And also I see this phallic energy being so like a rivalry in the sense of manhood, masculinity, deeply rooted. It could be ego driven, you know, toxic masculinity being a highlight that I see about this. I'm seeing a lot going on. There's a penny over the parrot, meaning like, some hearsay, there may have been little murmurs. There may have been little tidbits of information coming about, but it wasn't very overt. I feel like with Nipsey, he's with his type of stature in society, he kind of expected for, people to talk or for people to be haters. I mean, I think one of the last tweets that he ever tweeted was that, if you have haters or enemies, you're blessed, or something along those lines. Okay. So, he kind of maybe tried to silence or, lessen the value of what people had to say about him or what people were saying, any type of hearsay. I see the strength and the dime over the ghost, meaning in the sense of he's still around here. He's trying to provide a protection, a friendly, warm feeling to those who are around him. He's trying to be the strength for people. He's trying to encourage people to stay strong. He wants people to venerate and remember him in a positive light, but he's also wanting to serve as a beacon of protection and strength for those around him. He really values spirituality. I feel like he even possibly was a clairvoyant or have had some paranormal activity that caused him to be a lot more connected with his spiritual self. And so he always kind of looked at signs and symbols and, like numerology or praying and seeing angel numbers and just kind of trying to see the synchronicity in things. I see the tortoise over the hourglass, meaning that time slowed down. It was so still. It was like he may even be stuck in that time, replaying that image of what happened to him over and over and over in his head. I also feel that this means that things was moving real slow in a sense of maybe nothing was happening. It was quiet. It was peaceful. But it, for him on his side, but on the other side, there was a lot of traction and movement. Because I look at the tortoise and I see the tortoise and the hare. So wherever you see the tortoise, there's a hare somewhere moving around. This was a slow and steady situation. This was planned in advance, a long time in advance. This was not a run by the night. This was something that was planned. This was something that was not a spontaneous event, okay? I also see it as time running out. So this is interesting in the sense of he didn't have the protection. This is also saying, he was slow to move. He was comfortable. He kind of was blocked. There was an elephant in the room and he didn't really see it like that, kind of like oblivious in some ways. And not even really just to say he was oblivious, because I do feel like he heard people talking, but he just kind of like wasn't paying it no mind. He really wasn't giving it his energy. And there is a sense of time running out. Sands of the hourglass running out, and the sands was moving real slow. slow, but they was dropping, time moving slow. Some other things I see the witch token and the quarter and the start small, like it's like an acorn, in the sense of like a nugget of information, basically, over the Medusa, and so basically this tells me that this was connected to a woman, okay? And I am very clearly picking up that this is Lauren London, that this could have been over her. I'm picking up that she knows something about this, which is why I see it starting small, meaning like, she's a person that would be a key witness to her account on certain things. Either she knows the person who did this or something along those lines. The quarter, meaning that she was of high value to the person who shot Nipsey. And then also the witch token face down over her, meaning that, she has something on her life. Her life has some sort of like she has some sort of energy around her that could be considered either a hexing or a jinxing or something happening over her life that is causing her to be a black widow of sorts, or a woman who has failed relationships, who is like whenever she's happy, when she's her happiest, things start to come away from her. And it's really weird because it's like she may even feel responsible for this in some way, or in a sense of, why is it that this happens every time I love somebody, every time I'm happy, every time things look good, they're taking them away from me. And so she feels that way. I also see that the quarter is over the gold bars, meaning that this was about money. This was over a lot of money. This was over something valuable and precious as well. I see the quarter over the vulture, meaning that there are people that were in his camp who are trifling trash, who was, trying to get at him, take from him. I also see the compass over the rat, meaning that you want to look at people who was his friends and who wasn't his friends. There is somebody in his camp that set him up. There was also maybe like a plan to try to take something from him financially. There was like maybe a heist or something, robbing or taking some sort of something about from him. And also I saw that being the case with the four-leaf clover over the rat too, meaning again, these are people who, they're not who they say they are, okay? I see the dime over the moon, meaning that this is something that is of a good value. And the moon represents your intuition, but also the mother. So I feel like his mom either knew had an intuition or some inclination. There was also something going on here about, he felt this way too. Because the moon comes at night when you're resting. So he was at peace. He was at rest in some ways. It's really weird. I don't feel that I don't feel like he knew that his time was up that day, but he felt maybe his time could have gone up. He may have been on the lookout of possibly dying early. His mom too. And it feels like they had like an interesting bond. Somewhat distant, but still close. And so I also see the explorer token over the pills. So there's something about, drugs being involved. So money, drugs, girl, this could be a gang related thing. This is gang related. And if it's not gang related, then it is, they may have all like partied together, or they may have all, it just feels like I'm seeing maybe perks and Molly and shit like that. Like there's some sort of like, maybe either it is like something about them being around each other in that culture. But I really feel like this is gang related. Okay, I really do. Now, getting into, Lauren London. Okay, my spirit is saying to keep using my bone board. Okay. All right. I know I dropped something. All right. Let's clear up this board. Interesting. Her ancestors protected her. They said they spared her life. They protected her. They protected her because I see the ancestors, the angels over the gun. I see the elephant over the ghost. She's very, very, very well protected. I see the explorer over the Black Widow. Remember I told y'all earlier that she may be like a Black Widow. Again, I see the magic, the witch token over the Medusa. So she either is a witch or she has witchcraft on her. I see the dime and the penny over the extraterrestrial, the alien, meaning to tell me that, she has connections with the other side. I don't know if she consciously does because I see the penny. I mean, it's like, pretty low value, but she does have them. I also see the quarter over the vulture, meaning that she does have, people that don't fuck with her. I see the acorn over the rat. Again, people are fucking like messing with her. The compass over the light bulb, meaning that her mind is racing. Like she's trying to figure out what direction to go with her mind. Her mind is reeling. The tortoise over the time. So she also had this energy over her, but it's interesting because it was over her and him, but she was protected and he was not. That's the main difference. That's the difference. Because I see again the nickel and the quarter over the Captain American shield. So she has been protected, but he was not. And the main difference that's coming is that they both had the energy around him, but it's like she had some sort of, covering over her that prevented her from being killed earlier than she was meant to die, and he did not. Okay. I also feel like the strength down, meaning that, the strength being over the thumbs down, meaning that her connection with this guy is like, it's weird. It's like she's not strong right now. He took the last bit of strength from her. It's weird because it feels like that was a better way to break her down, because it does feel like maybe he had a vendetta against her, because again, which token over the Medusa and the explorer over the explorer over the Black Widow. It tells me like that he feels either she did him some way, or he was like wanting to be trapped by her. Like there was something about this woman that causes men to fight, because again, I see like some other things. Like I see there's music, symphony. and it has two money currencies over it, meaning, men will fight for this woman. Men have put, money, like place bets. There are men in the industry, music industry, and they see her as a valuable woman. So there's a lot of men who want this woman. There's a lot of men in music industry and men who have a lot of money, but a lot of men in the music industry who want her. And because Nipsey was also in the music industry, then, them being together, that can create animosity. But this is really, wow, okay. All right. All right. Good Lord. He don't really have that much to say, actually. Honestly, he wants everybody to chill, to stop. There's a lot of people stressing. And he wants people to stay strong. He wants them to stop, giving. He wants people to be a little bit better. He actually, there's something about him financially that he is weird because he really wants people to like slow down with the violence. Like he really wants to like change a lot of people's mentalities, and he feels like he doesn't want things to go where people are acting out on his behalf and then riots and wars and rivalries start. He just kind of wants things to end. Like he just wants this to be done with. He's like, don't focus on that. Don't let your emotions get in the way to making you make something stupid. Stop and think before you act. He doesn't want anybody to go and kill on his behalf. He doesn't want that. He doesn't. His concern is not that right now. He just wants people to be good. Like he just wants people to be safe. He wants people, to value him and his life and his legacy, and to keep that going versus people to be, tripping on everything else. I'm going to move to my cards now. What was happening before Nipsey, what was Nipsey feeling 2 minutes before he passed? The Star, Indolence, the Tower, the Mages, Victory. Okay. So, how he felt 2 minutes before he passed. He felt like wow, this is how it's gonna end for real. He feels like he felt like everything was coming to an end. It also feels like maybe he spoke it into existence, like he predicted it, because I see the mages in the sense of, that's the magician. He reached a full level of consciousness, a very brief moment of clarity. I also see the tower in the sense of, he, and the thing about this tower is that the eye is most big, and that's the first thing I saw. And for me, it feels like in this chaos, in this crazy, in this fucked up situation, he saw things so clearly. He knew what everything was about. And he knew, but he didn't know, because I see the indolence card, and see the indolence card has to do with the sign of Pisces, in the sense of, conscious and unconscious. He was moving toward his destiny, and he knew it. He also, he also was like calm, like the pain was gone, like he felt at peace. It also just feels like another thing that I feel that came up with this is that he saw something. He went into his own consciousness. A lot of things flashed before his eyes. I know everybody says that, but that's what I see here. And I see that he cried, like internally. I don't know if he externally cried. Like he grieved himself, but he accepted it. It feels like, it's weird, because it's like he got something else out of this, like, because I see the victory, meaning that he's not done, and people may think he lost, like his enemy may think he lost, but he didn't lose. And then I see the star, that's the energy of Aquarius. That's the energy of revolution, his legacy. He's always going to be a star. I see how my eye went straight to the star in a corner, in the sense that, people are going to exalt him. People are going to venerate him. People are going to remember him. He will be this generation's Aliyah, and he is going to be somebody that people are going to exalt. He's going to be somebody that people are going to remember. They're going to play his music. They're going to immortalize him. He may feel like like he may have lost on certain thoughts and certain acts, and he may feel like he didn't get to complete certain projects that he wanted to complete. But at the same time, I don't feel, even for a second, that what he did is going to go in vain, I'm asking, how does Nipsey feel now? How does Nipsey feel now? I see virtue, pleasure, death, the lovers, and worry. And for me, I'm interpreting this as, he feels like it's weird because it feels like, in some ways he has not accepted his death because the death card is reversed. Like he doesn't want that to be the case. Like he really wishes that he could be revived. He wants a recount. Like when somebody loses according to a vote and they're like, I demand a recount. That's kind of him. Like he's still kind of trying to fight for himself because he still wants to feel physical pleasures. I feel like for him, there's like a few things that's in his head that he really wants to do right now, that he wishes he could have right now. And some of that is chicken. I feel it in my bones. I don't know if he was a vegan or a vegetarian or he ate meat or wings or whatever he did, but him dying, he realizes how much he misses the idea of eating some chicken, specifically some wings. Okay, but some other things like the pleasures of Lauren, her smile. He loved having sex with her. He was very attracted to her. And so there's that. I also feel like things like there's something that his mama cooked that was really good and he really loved that meal. It's like a few other things, like his kids, but I feel like there was just a few more things that he wishes he could just be in his body for a little bit longer, just to feel those things one more time, just to remember, just to get that last, just to savor, because I see that. Okay. I feel like there's some regret that he has with Lauren, with not really getting to the depth of the relationship with her like he wanted to. Yes, they were in love, but he didn't get to marry her. There are some things that he wishes that he could do. Like in his head, like he's like, man, if I just had one more chance, I would marry her, because being without her, without her knowing how I really felt, without her seeing me, without, taking my time, like that's not something I would ever do again. And, just kind of going through his head, memorizing things and like going through the memories and just he really is trying to spend time with her. Like I feel like that's one of his biggest concerns right here is I see like the worry is like he is worried about her. He's worried about her stability. He's worried about her emotional health and well-being. Like he knows how she is and he knows that she is an emotional person. She may not show it like that. She may not express that to everybody, but he knows her. He knows her vulnerability, and he's really worried about how she's taking it, and he really wants to be there for her. She's somewhere else right now. I feel so many different layers of things that she's feeling. So many different layers right now. I see pleasure. So, reversed, meaning she's not hungry. She don't want to eat shit. Like if you know how Nipsey misses his favorite meal, she can't eat her favorite meal. And it's like she can't enjoy things right now, And that's understandable because of the circumstances, of course. But I see the Knight of Cups. I see that she misses him. Like she keeps wondering and hoping that he'll come back, that he'll come home, She's hoping that this is a cruel joke. Because it was crazy. It's crazy because he was so sweet to her. There was something about him to her. Like, she keeps just seeing him in a way that was so kind and loving and nurturing and emotionally intuitive with her. And I can see that because, like, this morning I had got a message from somebody that it made me feel the same way that Lauren saw him, and I understand that feeling. And he was her everything. The Queen of Cups, I feel like she's really close to her mom right now. I feel like her mom is helping her right now a lot. And also her trying to be a good mom and trying to figure out how to talk to her children about what's going on and sharing what's going to happen, especially like her son. It's interesting. I see the Knight of Discs, meaning that there is somebody around her that is trying to help make sure that she's good, and like trying to make her know, like, hey, you're good. Like, I know you got your own, but I just want you to know that he Nipsey basically was preparing to take care of you. Like, he has like a little something to the side for if anything happened to him, or he did something for you. It's like in a sense of like, whatever you need, we got you. In a sense, whatever financial situation, whatever she may need, that she has somebody there trying to help her out. And he was the breadwinner. I see that because he's the Knight of Pentacles right now, and it feels like he took care of a lot of the financial decisions and everything, leadership and everything. I also see the Death card. So she is seeing him as gone. Like, she knows he's gone. You know what I'm saying? And she's accepted that. Because I see her with the pleasure, the death, and the sorrow card, meaning like this has brought her great pain. This has brought her a type of brokenheartedness that prevents her from feeling like she can ever be happy again. Like, she doesn't feel that right now. She doesn't feel that she would ever really be able to enjoy life the way that she did, to the degree that she did before. I see the Knight of Swords. I feel like he's trying to talk to her. He's trying to talk to her. I also feel like there was something that was supposed to happen between them. The kid, because he was very sexually drawn to her, and she him, but he was very sexually drawn to her, and I feel like there was like a some sort of messages or text or conversation about, when I see you, I'm about to do this into you and this and that. And like, she was getting ready for that. I see the card for luxury. So again, like somebody, whether him or somebody he assigned basically to look after Lauren in the event something happens, just to let them know, like, your lifestyle is not going to change. You are still going to be fine. You're going to still live a good life because we got you. Again, I see the sorrow and the devil. And then I see like the dark matter card. So like, she really feels like lost. Like, she really feels like the devil, whoever that person is, whether that's the person who killed him, the person who, assigned that person to kill him, or the life or whatever, like she feels like they've taken from her. And I see this being phallic, very phallic. So she feels like, this was definitely a sexually charged, maybe a crime of passion, or the sense of like somebody just evil, like somebody fucked up just took from her, because yeah, she's really upset. She's really upset, and understandably so. Emotionally a wreck right now. And for the people of LA, for the people of LA, I'm from LA originally, actually, so it do hit different, you know what I'm saying? Like, a little girl growing up in Compton, like, I heard of him. Before I was a little too young to listen to his music at first, when I first heard of his name, but I've known of this man since I was in elementary school. But anyway. Okay. I have one last question. And that is, what will his legacy be? Adjustment. Abundance. It's interesting because I'm seeing certain things come, and I feel like the way that these cards are showing up are showing as being, interruptions in a sense. Like, I'm seeing some cards are coming out reversed, and I'm seeing it in a way that's to tell me that the things he was working on were obviously put on an indefinite pause. But I do see, like, for him, he wanted to bring balance, peace. I feel like either he was into like comedic science, he was trying to get into like some Egyptology, or like, some Hotep shit. But for some reason, I really feel like he followed the laws of Mayat. And he really took into consideration the energy of karma too. Like, it feels like he did believe in the divine feminine, and that's something that he really wanted to teach people. I also see, like, for him, there's certain things like the Prince of Wands moving forward. There's a lot of things he wanted to get projects off the ground, passion projects, and they were interrupted. But he's going to be immortalized for his projects, even though they never completed. Just the ideas of them, and the steps he took to make them come into action, even if they never completed. That's where people are going to remember it. Oh, he wanted to do this. This is something he desired to do. I'm also seeing, like, for him, he's trying to encourage people not to stress, not to worry. I see the card for disappointment in the sense of, like, he's disappointed that his legacy got broken, and but he doesn't want other people to be disappointed in that. He's basically telling people that things will come around full circle. I also see the Strength card. So he was a pillar in the community. He was really trying to do some good, at least at the root of him, at the core of him, he was. And, he also, I'm seeing this also being like his strength actually was Lauren. And so he is actually going to be somebody who, like, he feels like she balanced him. He feels like she made him want to be a better man. He feels like she is the reason for a lot of his accelerated growth. I see some other things, like, he feels like, people are going to see that there's somebody orchestrating this. You'll see the Emperor. And I do feel like there's going to be a lot of truth that comes out. People who were basically accomplices to the whole situation. I'm also seeing here swiftness. So there's a lot of Sagittarian energy. He was trying to make moves. He was trying to make things change. He was trying to bring enlightenment, because what Sagittarius energy is about is not just travel and culture, but it's also about higher learning and enlightenment. And he wants people to stop stressing over this situation, but to continue to educate themselves and propel themselves forward, and to continue to thrive, and to, because I see the energy of Mercury here too. So communicate, share your ideas, share your thoughts, make things come to pass, speak life into what you're doing. And above all else, like, just continue to elevate yourself and level up mentally, and start to align yourself. I feel like he was really into like chakras and shit and stuff like, chakras and stuff like that. And, balancing, and really into like elements and stuff, I see the Priestess. So this man had a very strong level of intuition, to the degree that, he, was probably psychic and had prophetic dreams, because I remember at the beginning of the reading, I said that he feels like maybe he called this or spoke life into this, or he predicted it. He has a lot of that. He has a lot of those energies. He has a very strong influence. His mom is a clairvoyant too. That's probably why his mom been stressed out. But yeah, he has a lot of feminine energy, like a lot of female intuition. And he used that energy to help other people, because the Priestess is a person that does for others too. Now, I keep seeing victory, and it's so interesting that his last album, which was Grammy nominated, was called Victory Lap. Hello? Okay. So it feels like that he just kind of wanted people to just keep themselves knowledgeable and not be violent people. He doesn't want people to be violent. He just wants people to get knowledge, and that's the most violent thing of all. That's the most scary, intimidating thing of all, is to be a person that is knowledgeable. And your mind is your biggest weapon. And he just doesn't want people to, be crazy or rowdy. He just wants people to, look at what this is, look at what this does, look at how people are, look at what people do, But he's a very intuitive man, very, very, very powerful, very powerful. And his energy is very powerful. And, I'm very glad that he was chosen, to be exalted, that he was chosen to become, a saint for the people. I'm very happy. I feel I can see people creating Nipsey Hustle, motherfucking candles and shit, just to fucking call on him when they need some guidance, when they need some help, when they need some reassurance. Call on him when they need some love, when they need some wisdom, when they need some, somebody to give some lighthearted, validation or information or confirmation. But last question is actually going to be, did his death have anything to do with his documentary for Dr. Sebi? Because I know some of y'all believe that. So let's see. Nope. Period. The Queen of Discs tells me this was about a woman. Okay. The Hierophant means that this was a person, a lot of Taurus energy, and Taurus holds on to things. They hold grudges. So this is a person that held a grudge about a woman. The Luxury tells me this has to do with, money. And the Ace of Discs also tells me that this has to do with money, transaction, business, but not Dr. Sebi. It has nothing to do with Dr. Sebi. This was about a woman. This was about Lauren at the end of the day. You know, it had nothing to do with no goddamn documentary, okay? For everybody who's a conspiracy theorist and for everybody who thinks that that's what it was, no, but it does help you to exalt him. It does help you that these are rumors swirling around, but it's not that. The energy of death was around him, whether that was him coming from somebody shooting him or him getting hit by a car or him, you know what I'm saying, having a death of a natural cause. It was around him. You get what I'm saying? But no, he did not die because of what he was trying to do for Dr. Sebi. And at the end of the day, you know, people should be mindful of that. People should take heed to that and should not continue to go forth with those types of things, and to give him the honor that he does deserve. And if anything, you know, people should try to get his passion project for the Dr. Sebi project to continue to go off the ground. To get off the ground, so that way it's able to be done, and so that way people will have something else to venerate for him. All right, you guys, it's been Mama Neptune. I did want to give you guys a brief little understanding really quickly that I will be not accepting new clients for a reasonable amount of time. I'm going to take a break from doing readings for other people, and that's the same for spell work. I am actually going to be taking a bit of a hiatus when it comes to doing readings for people, clients and such. And so, you know, I appreciate it, but and I really appreciate the demand. I really appreciate you guys keeping me busy. You know what I'm saying? You know, reading has been my full-time job, and I've been really blessed to have such amazing clients and such amazing people who have been looking out for me. I've had customers just support me in everything that I did, whether that was a new type of reading, whether that was a product that I was making, whether that was just me, like if I ever needed anything. I had some of the most amazing clients in the world who have supported me, and most of my clients, I would say 95% of my clients are repeat clients who have gotten 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 readings from me or more, and have referred their friends and referred their families. And I'm so truly thankful for everybody for being in my life and for supporting me, my business, Mama Neptune, making that a thing, making that real, making it stick. And I'm just so thankful and so glad. But I am closing the doors for Mama Neptune just for a little while. And I hope that I'm able, to continue to have you guys here with me on this journey, until I do decide to open back up for readings again. But anyway, I'm much thankful, and I'm thankful for the spirits, and I'm thankful for Nipsey for joining in on this reading. I'm thankful for the ancestors of Lauren. I'm thankful for the ancestors of Nipsey. I'm thankful for my spirits who walk with me, my ancestors, for everybody who have given me the strength to do this reading, because I have not had the desire, will, or strength to do readings in several days. So I'm very thankful for every spirit who has come to uplift me and make this reading detailed, accurate, and something that I feel that I was having the strength to do for something what I really was not going to do. So I'm very thankful for all of the spirits for their advice, their wisdom, their knowledge. And I hope that everybody who is in the city of LA, who has been touched by his music or his words or what his actions were, whether you liked him or didn't like him, you know, if he made an impact on your life, I'm very, very sorry for your loss. And, you know, this does hit a little different because a guy that I know very closely was a good fan of his, and, you know, it feels, you know, it feels a lot different, you know, and we've been losing a lot of people. I've lost some people in my family recently, back to back to back, and people I know are losing people back to back to back. And, you know, this is just the times that we're in, that we are in a time where people are being taken. So, you know, I encourage you guys to keep your prayer covers up. I encourage you guys to keep a strong connection with your ancestors. I encourage you guys to, you know, gird yourselves and to keep yourselves protected, you know, and, you know, just understand that a lot of people who are not your friend are not your friend, and listen to your mama, because your mama know. And when your mama say that's not your friend, that's not your friend. I'm just saying. All right, you guys, much love, much light, much wisdom, much understanding, and much peace, blessings, abundance, ecstasy, and bliss to all of you who wish the same to me. All right, you guys, thank you. Goodbye.